I wish I had somebody to teach me like how I'm teaching these guys now. Because when I teach guys about game and stuff, they learn it within 6 months max. But from age 0 to death, how would you chart out a man's life to get maximum fulfillment and to be maximally achieved? We've all on this panel taken a look back on our past and have made some mistakes, and we have ways that we would optimize it again. What would you say? Whoever wants to take the torch, go ahead.
I'll start it. Since nobody ultimately gives a shit, and that's probably one of the biggest things that people won't tell you. Your parents won't tell you that because they've got a vested interest in you. Your mom has an interest in you growing up and being happy and healthy and all of that. Same with your father. But they're about the only people that really care for you. Beyond that, not saying that people don't like you and that they don't get along with you, but they don't give a shit because everyone has their own problems.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit. They say they do, but they don't. Trust me, I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've been a part of it. Focus on you. Focus on what you want, what you need. Put yourself first. Realize everyone is tuned into WIIFM. That's what's in it for me. You need to be the same.
Yeah.
And so you put yourself first. Before any woman, before anything else, you got to look into whatever it is, especially when someone else is saying, hey, do you want to do this? Or, hey, would you do this for me? What's in it for me? You have to ask yourself that and then go from there.
I'll take a rough stab at that. From
Okay.
0 to probably 20 or even early 20s, you are filled with other people's ideals on how you should be. That affects your psyche.
Your ideal. How would you create the ideal?
Right. In order to overcome that conditioning, you're going to have some struggles. Straight up, nothing of value comes without struggle. So I'd have to chart out some kind of struggle. Some find the military, some find other avenues, physically, mentally, to overcome that struggle. It's almost a mirror image of the hero's journey, and it can take place at any time in a person's life. But it almost is the ultimate rite of passage. So as you age and you're in your old age, you feel like you've lived a life well worth living. How that takes place for each individual would be really individualized, but the premise is going to hold true. That's why when we have movies like Star Wars, your favorite, John, it touches you so deeply with that archetype. Why? Because you felt the struggle. You felt that, hey, everything's great. I am this moisture farmer. Life is good. I got my robots. And then your world comes crashing down from something mundane.
Yep.
And you struggle through it and you master yourself. When you master yourself, you hit that next level and ultimately you become the best Jedi ever lived, right?
Yep. Who would like to go next?
From 0 to 10, to be very honest, you're a kid, so I try to put as much values as I know into it, into the kid. Like learn him the marshmallow test, like instant gratification or delayed gratification. It's a nice way to teach your kid that. So I'd love to start teaching them that. 10 to 20, explain to them why they have to put away at least 20% of their income every time there's coming something in. So teach them the true value of money, that money can buy time, but not now time. It's time for later on. That's what you buy with it. Also lift, but also learn to be capable of violence, not violent. Learn judo, learn to box. Just be capable to take a hit, but be capable to give out a hit. Don't go into LTRs is a huge one. Like date them, don't commit to them. That comes way later on in life. I'd also like to teach them that. 30, nope. Still sticking with the 10 to 20s. Learn a trade. Don't go to college yet. Learn a trade. Like put 2 years away to learn plumbing, electrician, go into construction, whatever, because those things will always be needed. So that's 20 to 30 when you get there. And if you spend your teenage years right, those years are kind of smooth sailing. Like you pick the right graduate, things like that. You've saved up your money from your first job. So that's a habit you have taken with you. And since you're, well, 20 to 30, still not actually committing to anyone, and if you've been smart with your money, maybe you can even retire way earlier than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And especially since you graduated in the right thing and you've been, well, reeling in the money, early retirement wouldn't be that strange at 30, 35, if you do it right.
Right.
And after that, it's just, man, whatever the hell you want.
Who else would like
Very
to
good
go?
advice.
Got Wraith and Donovan left.
You're going to go out, you're going to make your mistakes, live through your mistakes. That's the best thing I can tell people. You know, and if you live through your mistakes and you learn from them, you're basically 5 runs up the ladder than most people. Because most people go out and make the same freaking mistake over and over and over again.
God.
You know, I just told my sons, go out and do what you want to do. That's what I did. And I was married for 33 years. I still did everything I wanted to do. Scuba dived, skydived. You know, my wife didn't hold me back because, you know, she lived in my frame. I don't live in hers. You know, and she's okay if that's what you want to do. But like I said, the main thing is, you know, reach down, grab your balls, and do what you want to do and live the life you want to live. Because if you're not willing to do that, all the advice in the world is not going to help you.
Yep, definitely. Donovan.
Use protection. Don't do meth. Don't go to college. That's it.
Yep.
You follow those 3 things. Chances are you'll probably be in a good state in life. After 30, don't think about a long-term relationship until you are at least 35 and you have at least 35 women. At that point, you've been through the good, the bad, and the ugly with women. You have a better idea in terms of what you want versus what you need. A lot of guys tend to dream about being married and having a bunch of kids with a 10. And while that's possible, it's certainly not easy here in 2020. I tell guys all the time, listen, man, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, you're going to have to sacrifice something in the way of looks. This doesn't mean that you're compromising. This doesn't mean that you're settling for less. What this means is that you understand that the hotter the girl, the higher the price. The hotter the girl, the bigger the headache.
Are hot girls really that bad?
Really?
Yes, they are.
Hot girls, check this out. Like, hot girls are only fun to be with when you are actually f***ing them. But outside of f***ing them, you will find, and it's not their fault, the world is a wonderful place for extremely beautiful women. And hot girls are useless because they've never had to be useful. The world gives these girls a great life for literally nothing but existing. So if you can't blame it on a hot girl, because if everybody's giving me all this attention and commitment for me just existing, then why in the world does she need to know how to cook? Why in the world is she going to develop a better personality? Why in the world is she going to develop a kind attitude? She can act like she wants, she can do what she wants, and the world is still going to give her that favorable treatment. So yeah, hot girls really are that bad. Listen, they're great to be seen around. That gives you pre-selection. But here's another thing. Hot girls, not that good in bed. Like, dude, the only hot girls that are good in bed are porn stars. But the average 9 or 10 that's out walking the streets, okay. I mean, the sex is never terrible, right? But sex with 9s and 10s is not nearly as good as sex with 6s and 7s. 6s and 7s know that they're lacking in what am I looking for? Sexual market value.
Let me give my my decade strategy. I think from 0 to 10, you educate the kid on things that are not being educated right now.
Yeah,
I think kids are moldable like a ball of clay, and whatever you give to them, they'll usually rise to the occasion. If you treat them like a bunch of pussies, you're gonna raise a pussy. If you're hard on them in a good way, I'm not saying like beat the hell out of the kid, but demand results from the child from a young age, you're going to put good behaviors into them. I say instill discipline into the child from a young age, from 0 to 10. Let them know about calories from the get-go. I didn't know about calorie balancing until I was like 28 years old. I couldn't believe how stupid I was when I found out about that. Teach them proper nutrition from day one. So I would think from 0 to 10, teach them about money, teach them about discipline, teach them about calories, get them educated. From 10 years old to 20, that's when we begin the physical side of their training. When they're 10, just get them run around. From age 13, they start lifting weights. man, definitely as a man, start lifting weights. All these rumors that lifting weights stunts your growth and stuff, it's all
Oh,
trash.
bullshit. Yeah, that's bullshit.
It's bullshit, right? So start teaching them just the big three: bench press, squat,
Yep.
deadlift. Teach
Yep.
them proper form above anything. I'd say 15. Start teaching them how to fight. Right? Maybe earlier, it's fine, but 15 is just like my benchmark.
Okay, I got you.
And then heavily emphasize mathematics education, because we don't do that in America. You can never go wrong with teaching math. Math is like a universal language. And if you're just good at math alone, you can make a shitload of money. So I would teach them that. And then I would start instilling something about a trade. Let me tell you something. Thor is a power lineman right now. Thor, are they telling you to stay at home in the midst of all this?
No.
No.
We're going to keep those lights on, and they're going to pay us a premium to do it.
Yep, and you're making six figures pretty well. I'm not gonna say how much you make, but you're making above the standard 6-figure mark. And
Easily.
if you're an electrical engineer, you got to keep the whole the grid going. You know what I mean? So learn a trade that's useful, whether it be welding, whether it be computer engineering, software engineering, software development, accounting. Stuff that is essential to business. And then from 20 to 30, I would be like, that's the business building section of your life, where you build some kind of talent, or you build some sort of business that, when you build a business, there's a building section and then there's a scaling section, right? So I say from age 20 to 30, you start building your businesses, because as a man, let's be honest, money's important. Women want us to pay for dates. Women want us to take care of them, okay? Then from 30 to 40, I would say if you decide to have a family, this is the time to do it. And then also, this is when you scale. You already have your businesses built. So you have your businesses built. Now you work on expanding them. And then from 30 to 40, you build your family and you build your wealth, right? And you keep on building that and building that. 40 to 50, it's just kind of an extended period of building, in my opinion, scaling. And then from 50 to 60, you're just chilling. You're rich. You got your kingdom. Just maintaining. 60, 70, you're just grandfathering, taking care, being the legacy of your family, being the head patriarch. And then 70, 80, maintaining as much as you can before you check out. That's what I would say. That's like my life plan that I think. Is it perfect? Certainly not. But I think it's better than what most people are doing right now. To be honest with you, I spent majority of my 20s from age 19 to 26. I was just drinking and doing drugs and girls and going to the gym. That was like literally my existence. It was literally gym, tan, laundry. Like, wake up, hit the gym, smoke some weed, get ready to go hit the club, work my shitty ass job, just have enough money to go out and some girls and chase some pussy. That's all I did. And I regret, to an extent, it because, I blew a big portion of my 20s and my health on just being a degenerate idiot, right? I mean, I wish I had somebody to teach me like, I'm teaching these guys now. Because when I teach guys about game and stuff, they learn it within 6 months max, right? But I had to figure it out kind of slow and the hard way. But the good news about figuring out things the hard way is you never forget it once you figure out the hard way. So I just see a lot of that. I see a lot of people wasting potential. And then, next thing you know, you wake up, you're 55, and you're like, fuck, I still work. I'm still working a 9 to 5 for somebody. I'm still in debt. I'm still struggling. And, you can't always rely on your brute man strength to get you through life without having some backup things. I'm a big fan of real estate. I think real estate's a good investment. I think internet game is a big investment. But yeah, that's just what I think right there is a way for guys to maximize their life.